ever since they were born. Lily and Mia had always been two halves of the same whole. They shared everything: a bedroom, childhood secrets, dreams, and ambitions. There was an unspoken language between them, one that transcended words. They could feel each other's emotions as if they were their own. If one was hurt, the other felt the pain. But lately, those feelings had evolved into something far deeper. Something they both silently understood yet never voiced. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so I can continue bringing you more fascinating true stories like this one. And don't forget to watch this video till the end because this story is going to be incredibly interesting. Lily had always been the quieter one, thoughtful and reserved, while Mia, on the other hand, was bold, the one who pushed boundaries. Yet it was in their moments of quiet solitude that they began to realize their feelings were shifting. The closeness they once thought was purely the bond of sisters now seemed to be laced with something far more complicated. It started subtly. An innocent touch that lingered too long. A shared glance that said more than words ever could. There was a tension in the air whenever they were alone. A heaviness in their hearts they couldn't quite explain. Yet neither dared to bring it up. Fear gripped them both. The fear of ruining the bond they had always cherished. The fear of acknowledging that maybe, just maybe, this love was something more. One evening they were sitting together on their bed, talking about nothing in particular. The room was softly lit, and the only sound was the gentle hum of the night outside. Lily leaned against the headboard, her long hair cascading down her back, while Mia sat cross-legged, watching her sister intently. There was something different in Mia's eyes that night. An intensity that Lily couldn't ignore. "Do you ever wonder?" Mia began, her voice soft. "If maybe we're different from everyone else?" Lily looked up, her heart suddenly pounding. "What do you mean?" Mia hesitated, biting her lip. "I mean the way we feel about each other. It's not like other sisters." "Is it?" There it was. The question they had both been avoiding for so long. Lily felt a rush of emotions flood her chest. Fear, confusion, but above all, an undeniable love. She could feel her palms growing sweaty as she looked into her sister's eyes, trying to find the right words. "No," Lily whispered, barely able to speak. "It's not." Mia shifted closer, her face just inches away from Lily's now. "I think about you all the time," she confessed. "More than I probably should. It's like I can't breathe when you're not around." Lily's heart raced. She had felt the same way but had been too scared to admit it. Every time Mia looked at her, touched her hand, or laughed at one of her jokes, something inside Lily stirred a deep burning desire that felt too powerful to be ignored. "I feel the same way," Lily finally admitted, her voice trembling. "I don't know what it means, but I know I can't stop thinking about you." Mia reached out and gently took Lily's hand, intertwining their fingers. The warmth of her sister's touch sent a shiver down Lily's spine. They sat like that for what felt like an eternity, neither speaking, just holding on to each other as if the world outside didn't matter anymore. "I don't want to be afraid anymore," Mia whispered, her eyes locked on Lily's. "Whatever this is, I want to figure it out with you." Before Lily could respond, Mia leaned forward and pressed her lips against hers. It was soft at first, hesitant, as if testing the waters. But when Lily didn't pull away, The kiss deepened. Their lips moved together in a way that felt natural, like they had been waiting for this moment all their lives. Lily's hands found their way to Mia's face, gently cupping her cheeks as the kiss grew more intense. She could feel Mia's heartbeat quickening beneath her touch, matching the rhythm of her own racing pulse. It was like the world had melted away, leaving only the two of them in this moment where nothing else mattered. When they finally pulled away, both girls were breathless, their foreheads resting against each other's. Mia smiled softly, her fingers tracing patterns on Lily's arm. "Is this wrong?" Lily asked, her voice barely a whisper. Mia shook her head. "It doesn't feel wrong. It feels right. Like we've always been meant for this." In the days that followed, their connection only grew stronger. They spent every waking moment together, sneaking kisses when no one was looking, holding hands beneath the table at family dinners, and sharing secret smiles across the room. It was a love that felt pure and unbreakable, something only they could understand. But as with all forbidden love, there were complications. They knew they couldn't let anyone find out. The world wouldn't understand, and their family certainly wouldn't. The secrecy of their relationship weighed heavy on them, but it also made every stolen moment that much sweeter. Every time they touched, it felt like a secret shared only between the two of them. A love that was theirs and theirs alone. One night, they found themselves alone in the house, the rest of the family away for the weekend. The tension between them had been building for days. And now, with no one around, it finally reached a boiling point. They sat together on the couch, watching a movie, but neither of them was paying attention to the screen. "I can't stop thinking about you," Mia whispered, her hand slowly sliding up Lily's leg. "I don't want to hold back anymore." Lily's breath hitched as she turned to look at her sister, her heart pounding in her chest. "Then don't." That was all the encouragement Mia needed. She leaned in and kissed Lily again, this time with more passion, more urgency. Their hands roamed freely, exploring each other's bodies with a hunger that had been building for far too long. The rest of the world fell away as they gave in to their desires, losing themselves in the intensity of their love. Hours passed in a blur of kisses, whispered words, and tender touches. They explored every inch of each other, learning what made the other gasp with pleasure, what made their hearts race. It was a night they would never forget. A night that solidified their bond in a way that went beyond just family. As the sun began to rise, they lay together, tangled in each other's arms, their bodies warm and satisfied. Lily rested her head on Mia's chest, listening to the steady beat of her heart, feeling at peace for the first time in her life. "I don't know what the future holds," Lily murmured, her voice soft and sleepy. "But as long as I have you, I know I'll be okay." Mia smiled, pressing a kiss to the top of her sister's head. "We'll figure it out together." The days after that night were filled with a renewed sense of closeness between Lily and Mia. Their connection deepened with every shared glance, every touch that lingered just a little longer than it should. The secrecy of their love made it more intoxicating, heightening their awareness of one another. Every moment they were together felt electric. Yet they also became more careful, knowing that their love, though pure to them, would never be understood by anyone else. There were times when they would steal away to a secluded spot just to be alone, a hidden corner of the garden where the tall trees provided cover. or late nights when the world was asleep, and they could quietly sneak into each other's room. It was in these moments that they shared their most intimate thoughts and desires, unraveling themselves completely to each other. One such night, while the house was silent and everyone else was asleep, Mia knocked softly on Lily's door. Lily, expecting her sister, opened it quietly, smiling as Mia slipped inside. "I couldn't sleep," Mia whispered, her eyes filled with longing. "I just wanted to be near you." Lily's heart swelled. She took her sister's hand, pulling her closer. Their bodies naturally fit together as they sat down on the bed, their faces inches apart as they gazed at each other in the dim light. Lily could feel the heat between them, an electric current that never seemed to diminish. "I've been thinking about you all day," Lily confessed, brushing a strand of hair from Mia's face. "Every time I'm not with you, it feels like I'm missing a piece of myself." Mia smiled softly, her hand resting on Lily's cheek. "I feel the same. It's like I can't breathe without you." Without another word, Mia leaned in, capturing Lily's lips in a slow, tender kiss. It was soft at first, but soon it deepened, becoming more urgent, more passionate. Their hands began to roam, exploring each other with a familiarity that still felt thrilling and new. Every touch sent a shiver down Lily's spine, every kiss igniting the fire that had been smoldering between them for so long. Mia's hands moved to Lily's waist, gently pulling her closer, until they were lying down together, their bodies pressed tightly against each other. They could feel the rhythm of their hearts beating in unison, as if they were two parts of a single soul. Mia's lips trailed down Lily's neck, leaving a path of warmth and desire in their wake. "Lily," Mia whispered, her breath hot against her sister's skin. "I want to feel everything with you." Lily's breath hitched as she looked into her sister's eyes, seeing the same longing reflected back at her. They had shared so much already, but this felt different, deeper, more profound. It wasn't just about the physical connection anymore. It was about the emotional bond that had always existed between them. A bond that was now evolving into something neither of them could have ever imagined. Lily nodded, her heart racing, as Mia's lips met hers once again. This time, their kisses were slower, more deliberate, as if they were savoring every second, every touch. They moved together with an unspoken understanding, their bodies perfectly in sync, as if they had been made for each other. As the night wore on, the weight of the world seemed to slip away in the quiet confines of their room. Mia lay beside Lily, their bodies close but not yet touching, both feeling the magnetic pull between them growing stronger with every passing second. Lily gently reached for Mia's hand, intertwining their fingers as she gazed into her sister's eyes. The warmth of her touch sent a shiver down Mia's spine, igniting something deep within her. The tension between them, once held back by uncertainty, now crackled in the air around them. Slowly, Mia shifted closer, their legs brushing lightly beneath the sheets. The light touch of skin against skin was enough to make Lily's breath catch. She smiled softly, her heart pounding, as she raised her hand to gently trace the curve of Mia's face, her fingers brushing over her cheek down to her lips. Mia's eyes fluttered shut at the soft touch, her breath quickening. "Lily," she whispered, her voice trembling with both fear and anticipation. Without a word, Lily leaned in, their lips meeting in a tender kiss filled with the quiet intensity of everything they had held back for so long. It was gentle at first, a hesitant exploration of unfamiliar territory. But soon it deepened. The warmth of Mia's lips on hers sent a wave of desire flooding through Lily. Her heart racing as the kiss grew more urgent, more intense. Mia's hand slid around Lily's waist, pulling her closer until their bodies were pressed tightly against one another. Their kisses grew more passionate, their lips moving in perfect sync, as if they had been made for each other. Lily's hands roamed over Mia's back, feeling the heat of her skin through the thin fabric of her shirt. With a soft sigh, Mia rolled on top of Lily, her weight comforting and familiar. As she kissed her with newfound urgency, their kisses became more fervent, each one sending sparks of desire coursing through their veins. Mia's hands moved over Lily's body, exploring every inch with a tenderness that only made Lily's need for her grow stronger. They paused for a breath, their foreheads resting against one another as they caught their breath, both trembling with the intensity of the moment. Lily's hands gently cupped Mia's face, pulling her in for another kiss. This one slower, more deliberate, as if they were savoring every second they had together. "I've wanted this for so long," Lily murmured between kisses, her voice barely above a whisper. "You have no idea." Mia smiled against her lips, her hand gently stroking Lily's hair. "I know," she replied. "I felt the same way, but now we're here together." Their lips met again, softer this time, as Mia's hand slipped beneath the hem of Lily's shirt, her fingers grazing the smooth skin of her waist. Lily shivered at the touch, her body arching into Mia's, craving more of her warmth, her closeness. The world outside didn't matter anymore. All that existed was the two of them, lost in the heat of the moment, their love finally finding its full expression. Mia's kisses trailed down Lily's neck, leaving a trail of warmth in their wake. Lily's fingers tangled in her sister's hair, her breathing growing heavier as Mia's lips explored her skin. The touch of her lips sent shockwaves through Lily's body, each kiss igniting a fire that had been smoldering for far too long. As Mia's hands roamed over her, Lily felt herself melting into the moment, every sense heightened, every touch electric. It was as if time had stopped, leaving them suspended in a world of their own making. Their love was a secret, but in this room, in this moment, it was the most powerful thing in the world. They spent the night exploring one another, learning each other's bodies in ways they had never imagined. Each kiss, each touch was filled with a tenderness that made their love feel sacred, even in its secrecy. It wasn't just about the physical connection, though that was undeniable. It was about the deep emotional bond they shared, a bond that was only growing stronger with each passing moment. By the time the sun began to rise, casting a soft glow through the window, they were both lying in each other's arms, completely spent but utterly content. Lily's head rested on Mia's chest, her fingers tracing lazy patterns across her sister's skin. Mia gently ran her fingers through Lily's hair, smiling down at her with a look of pure adoration. "Do you think we'll ever be able to live like this?" Lily asked softly, her voice barely above a whisper. "Without hiding?" Mia sighed, her hand coming to rest on Lily's cheek. "I don't know," she answered softly. "But I do know that no matter what happens, we'll always have each other. Nothing can change that." Lily smiled, leaning up to kiss her sister's lips gently. "As long as we're together, I don't care what the world thinks." They lay together in silence for a while, simply enjoying the warmth of each other's presence. The world outside felt distant, unimportant compared to the love they shared. In this moment, nothing else mattered. But as the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, they began to realize that living in secrecy wasn't sustainable. The weight of hiding their love from the world started to take its toll. They became more cautious, more careful. But the fear of being discovered was always looming over them. One evening, after a particularly stressful day of pretending, Lily broke down. "I don't know how much longer I can do this, Mia," she confessed, tears welling up in her eyes. "I hate that we have to hide who we are, that we have to pretend like we're just sisters, when what we have is so much more." Mia pulled her into a tight embrace, stroking her hair soothingly. "I know, Lily. I hate it too. But we'll find a way. We'll figure this out together." Lily sniffed, wiping her eyes. "I just want to love you openly. I want to be able to hold your hand in public, to kiss you without fear." Mia kissed her softly on the forehead. "One day we will. I promise. We'll find a way to make this work. We'll figure it out," Mia whispered, her voice soft but full of conviction. "No matter what happens, we'll always have this." Lily nodded, a smile tugging at her lips. "I know. As long as we have each other, nothing else matters." Their love might have been forbidden, but to them it was the most beautiful thing in the world. They knew the road ahead would be difficult, filled with challenges and secrets. But as they lay together in the quiet of the early morning, their hearts full of love and hope, they knew that nothing could ever break the bond they shared. And in the end, that was all that mattered.